Hello everyone, welcome to Voyage. Today we're going to be going over the Chantecaille Holiday 2021 Beautiful Pearl Collection. Let's go ahead and get started with those swatches. We will apply the products and we will finish with a mini review. Let's get started. All right, there were the swatches. Let's jump into this beautiful Chantecaille Holiday Pearl Collection. All right, let's try the Chantecaille Pearl Lumiere Face Powder. This states on the back, it's a pearlescent highlighter balm that feels creamy to the touch and illuminates the skin with gorgeous lit from within glow. Lightly dust along the tops of the cheekbones, the bridge of the nose, and above the brow. I have my SONIA G Designer Pro Brush. Whatever's left on my brush, I'm just kind of taking down the center of the face here. Put a little on my chin. Just kind of highlight the top areas that come forward on the face. So the cheekbone, the nose, the chin. I always like to put a little bit on my ear just to grab a little light. Now I know I do a lot of reviews on my channel and it can get confusing. Like, well, why do you like this product better than that product? And I want to just state that not necessarily is it that one product is better than the other. It really comes down to like preference. So I can already tell, for instance, that this highlighter is really, really creamy, more on the natural side, not catching a lot of texture. And it's great for somebody who has fine lines, deep lines, and texture. So it is a little bit more expensive, but the formulation is well developed. So you're going to have a more creamy blendable texture that isn't going to grab on to areas of concern. So if you're younger, for instance, you can absolutely get away with something that has a little bit more shimmer and glitter, like let's say a Natasha Denona palette. Her highlighters are great, but I won't necessarily use a Natasha Denona highlighter on somebody who is 50 and up. So this is a great highlighter for those of you who have aging concerns. To me, this is one of those type of highlighters that I would wear all over my face, just almost as a day powder to just give me a nice luminosity throughout the day, and then double it on top of the areas that I want to have a little bit more oomph, like my, cheekbone, eye area, nose, and such. Let's go ahead and add a little bit here to the brow ridge. This is so, so pretty. I also want to mention that less is more. This product, although not, enormous, is really pigmented, so it doesn't take much to really build up color. The creamy texture on here is working fine with my brush. I'm going to go ahead, though, and use my finger to see how it lays down with my finger compared to the brush. It's like butter. It's just really, really light. I always feel like Chantecaille is one of those products that once you have it, you wonder how you lived without it. It's definitely my top 5 favorite brands when it comes to formulation and texture, for sure. Next product is the Luminous Eye Sheen. This states it's a shimmering shade that lights up the eyes with a soft, pearly glow. So the goal here is to create a shimmering wash of color across the lids. You can do that by using a brush or your finger. I personally like to use my fingers. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my pinky here to pat this onto the lid. I always start off, even if it's a brush, by patting it onto the lid so that I don't have fallout. It basically helps to press the shadow into the lid so it grabs onto the skin. This is a very interesting holiday look to me because it's really understated. It's really all about catching light. It's not about like a red lip and like a smoky eye, which was to me what I think of when it's fall, winter, and holiday season. It's much more geared towards the light reflective aspect of holiday, the light catching beauty of the winter season. Because I'm curious, I'm going to go in with my Pat McGrath brush, and I'm going to try this same color on the other side of this eye over here and see how it applies with the brush. I love the formula. It has like a beautiful creamy jelly texture, and it's grabbing onto the lid, but it has a nice enough creamy formulation where it's blending. Sometimes jelly textures, I find they kind of go on and they don't want to move. They want to do their job and grab on, but a little bit of that creamy texture in here is helping it to blend without giving me fallout below this area right here. So here's the eyes. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in here so you could see the eyes as well as the cheek highlighter. All right, next we have the Chantecaille Rouge Pearl Cheek Color in Okoye. Hope I'm saying that right. It says it's a luminous powder balm formula infused with antioxidant-rich cottonseed oil that brushes on a natural-looking rosy flush with a hint of a sheen. Which I believe that because when I was putting this on the back of my hand in the swatches, it has a very balmy texture. In fact, every single product that I put on has a creamy kind of balmy texture to it, which really is lovely on dry skin or people with older skin or people with pores and texture because it kind of just rolls on top of areas of concern. All right, same brush. I wiped it off though. This is the one I used for the highlighter. This is the SONIA G Designer Pro brush. All right, let's pop this on the cheek. I like to stamp it on the cheek, working in little sections so that I get a nice flush that is controlled across the cheek. If you go in really big with swirls, it will just look kind of muddied. It kind of flattens the face. You're not getting a lot of dimension that way. So if you stick in the area of the cheek through here, it will create a more natural look. Think of a flush, like if you were going for a run or a brisk walk, you get this nice flush that kind of happens through the cheek and deepens out as you go towards the ear. You'll see my buzzwords are definitely like light reflective, and that's because I really love transparency in skin, and I want for not just myself, but obviously my clients when they're out to not look dry and chalky or overly matte. I want them to look like healthy and luminous, and I love when light catches the skin so that when you move around, you're getting a beautiful finish across the face. All right, finish the other cheek, and then we will do a mini review. So what are my thoughts on the collection? I'll tell you right now, the highlighter and the blush are my absolute favorite. There's a creamy, balmy texture. It will be flattering on all skin tones. I know some of you may be looking at this and thinking, medium to deep skin tones, really? Yes, it will look gorgeous as a bright highlighter, or you can use it as a light dusting powder to bring luminosity to the skin. I cannot wait to use it just as like almost a daily illuminating powder. Now when it comes to the blush, ooh, this is probably my favorite out of all of the products I use today because I find it very hard to find a blush that has a perfect consistency of like the formulation and the pigmentation aren't too dry or too oily. This has that castor seed oil in it, so it's hydrating and balmy and leaves a gorgeous sheen on the skin, so absolutely love this. This is hands down going to be in my November favorites, just as a spoiler alert to you guys. And then the eyeshadow. Out of all three, the eyeshadow is probably my least favorite. It's not that it's bad. It's just not something that I see myself reaching for day to day. That said, all three in combination create the most beautiful day-to-day look. I love collections that are doing like not just a specific look for holiday, because this is something that, although is a holiday collection, is one that you'll reach for year round. It's just a beautiful look. It goes really well together. And in fact, if I were going to go out, let's say to like some sort of event, I would add to this only a red lip and it would just pull it all together, which I would get. The best red lipstick is Chantecaille Cerise. You guys, just trust me. If you're looking for the most beautiful red ever, besides Valentino has a beautiful red as well. And Chanel has some beautiful reds, but my goodness, the Chantecaille Cerise lipstick is so, so, so good. Beautiful color. All right, so there were my thoughts. The collection is beautiful. I am curious about wetting this shadow because I have a feeling that wet, I might gravitate towards it more because I want to see how it looks a little bit more like impactful with the color. It's laying really nicely on the lids, but I am finding that it's grabbing just a bit of texture because it does have some shimmer to it. All right, you guys, there we go. If you guys have any questions or suggestions, please feel free to comment down below. I leave you here. If you guys want to support Cheri Voyage, you like what you're seeing here on my channel, or any content creator that you are absolutely loving, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and use our affiliate links. And for me personally, my favorite part is comment down below. The exchange I have with you guys is so wonderful. I not only laugh sometimes, but I have actually teared up reading some of your guys's just life stories and what's going on with you guys. It really warms my heart. So thank you for those of you who have supported this journey and continue to do so. Much appreciated. All right, everyone, continue to take care of yourselves, take care of each other, be kind, and I will see you guys in the next video.